Okay, I had to start the YouTube video so that this will be a public hearing. Mr. Brown, normally I would address you directly during this proceeding, but since you have a lawyer here, I'm going to address your lawyer, Mr. Hernan. You should understand that any statements that you make during this proceeding are not privileged. You will not have the opportunity to speak to Mr. Hernan in a confidential setting. So anything that you say during this proceeding will be public. So don't say anything you don't want the whole world to know. Do you understand that? Okay. Mr. Hernan, Mr. Brown is charged with theft by receiving stolen property, being a motor vehicle, and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. I have preliminarily set a bond for him at $11,500, but I will hear from you as to anything that you would like to tell me about these charges or Mr. Brown.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. So Mr. Brown is, I believe, 24 years old. He's lived in the area for, I believe, 20 plus years at the same address for 3 years. He's a music engineer. He has 2 children, an 8-month-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. Your Honor, the charge for the receiving stolen property is in connection with the vehicle that he has jointly with his child's mother. And it's a vehicle that he pays for. It just happens to be in her name. We still don't have all the details as to why she reported the vehicle stolen, but this is a vehicle that he did not know that he did not have the authorization to be driving. She has a vehicle that's actually in his name that she drives, and he drives the vehicle that happens to be in her name. And my understanding is that I haven't seen the report or the warrants, Your Honor, but my understanding is that this is a vehicle that he pays for the insurance. And I'm not trying to try the case right now, Your Honor. I'm just asking you for purposes of bond to consider a significantly lower bond. He is a young man. He has limited resources. I would ask that you consider a signature bond for him, or at least a lower bond. He has significant ties to the area. He does have family here, his mother and father, an aunt and uncle, and he has every reason to pursue a vigorous defense of these charges and appear in court.
Well, when I read the warrant, it did appear to be, I guess out of character is not the right word to use, but I did have some questions when I read this warrant because it just said that the vehicle was reported stolen, but it doesn't give a whole lot of information. I saw your client he has had some arrests, but it's for relatively minor things and nothing along these lines.
Yes, Your Honor, if I could just add, Your Honor, when he was pulled over, he had no idea why he was being pulled over, he was obviously being pulled over because the car was registered as a stolen vehicle. But when he was pulled over, he had absolutely no idea why, because as far as he knew, he had the authorization to be driving the vehicle.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Do you believe if I were to lower this bond, would your client be amenable to my putting a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from the other individual? And I say that because I'm perfectly willing to reduce this bond, but what I don't want to see happen is a fight or argument that gets another set of charges because of the question being asked of why did you report this car stolen, or there's a second altercation related to the fact that this vehicle was reported stolen. I'm taking your representation of the facts, Mr. Hernan, and I'm willing to consider that. But at the same time, if I was in your client's position, I may be a little bit upset that the car I'm paying for is reported stolen.
Yeah, excuse me, Your Honor. I'm sorry to talk over you. I would ask if you make that condition that it be a no violent contact condition, Your Honor, because they do have children. I believe some of this may, and I don't want to speculate, I probably shouldn't speculate, but there's maybe some custody issues that come up and it's going to be difficult for them to have no contact, especially without having any idea how long this case will proceed. So and he has no, to my knowledge, he has no history of any sort of violent conduct. He certainly understands that any violent contact would be a violation of the bond and unlawful to begin with. So he has no intention, to my knowledge, of doing that. And he can hear me and you talking about how inappropriate and we could, Your Honor, if you wanted to have a condition, no violent contact and no discussing this case.
Well, the no violent contact thing has been pretty much proven to cause more violent altercations than no contact, because a person's definition of violence becomes subjective. And if Mr. Brown has visitation rights, there can be contact for the purpose of exchanging the children.
I don't think that's been established, and I think that these are things that we're going to have to deal with. If you had a provision in the bond that just said he could not discuss this case with any witness, that would preclude him from having that. It would be the same contact that Your Honor is concerned with. If he were to have any contact regarding this case, which is what Your Honor is concerned with, then he would violate his bond, whether that was.
Well, and it's not, just so you know, it's not contact concerning this case, to be honest with you. The way that I view it is that if I was in Mr. Brown's situation, I would be pretty upset that a car that I'm paying for, some person has reported that car stolen, which has required me to hire a lawyer and end up in jail. And so from my standpoint, when I set these kind of provisions down, I want to set bright lines so there's no issue later as to whether the judge said it was no violent contact. And so she hit me first. So I was just defending myself when that happened. You see what I'm saying?
I do, Your Honor. But if the concern is that he's, I think that I think he probably does have a right to be upset, but that doesn't mean that he would turn to violence. But also, if he understands that he has to measure that, the fact that he's upset with the fact that if he were to act on that feeling or emotion, then he would be right back in jail. And I can assure you, he does not want to be sitting in jail. So I understand Your Honor's position, but this is there's no indication of any violence between them. There's no indication of, she could certainly, I guess, if she felt like she didn't want him to contact her, she has mechanisms under the law that she could do that. I'm just trying to prevent a situation where she not only reports his car stolen, but then ends up where he is essentially unable to see his children. We'd have to go through an entire custody case to be able to establish paternity and be able to get visitation. So it would be quite a while. So I just, if Your Honor would consider any sort of narrow limitation of that provision to address your concerns while also allowing them to deal with whatever underlying issues there are in terms of the children. And
so, Mr. Hernan, let me state it in the reverse. You're asking, I've accepted the representation that you've made that the mother of his children, for some unknown reason, reported the car stolen, leading to his arrest. You're asking me, after accepting that representation, to believe that that person would not do something that could further place your client into jeopardy. That's what you're asking me to accept.
Well, Your Honor, I don't know. And again, this is my understanding of the facts as they've been told to me, but I don't know what her motivation was. But
I don't know either.
But your order would not prevent her from contacting him. Your order would only prevent him from contacting her. And I understand, and I understand if the facts as I have been told them are accurate, I understand they probably don't have a lot to talk about other than how they're going to deal with custody, and I understand that. But I'm just trying to, and I'm not trying to belabor the point. I know you have a lengthy calendar, Your Honor. I'm not trying to turn this into a 30-minute hearing. I'm just asking if there at least be a narrow exception that allows contact for purposes of dealing with the children, because otherwise we would not be able to deal with that until we had a family court address that, which would take, and that would not be a case I believe that I'd be handling. He'd have to retain another lawyer to deal with that, and who knows how long it would take to get before a judge.
So, Mr. Hernan, I'm accepting what you're telling me as fact, which is there should be readily available documentation that he is paying for this vehicle that was reported stolen. So I don't see this case going as far as you believe it's going to go based upon the representation that you've made to me.
I understand, Your Honor.
So I just, because again, I've accepted from your representation that the other party involved is prone to making false allegations about crime regarding your client to law enforcement. And you're asking me to make it easier for your client to be in that person's presence after I've accepted that that person makes false allegations about crimes that your client has committed. And if it is so materially false that it's readily provable, I trust you as the lawyer upon his bonding out, upon me lowering his bond and his bonding out, that he can get that information to you today or tomorrow, and that you could have these charges dismissed before this week is out, if I'm accepting your representation.
That's very sensible, Your Honor. So your point is that don't worry about a bond in a case that you believe should be able to be resolved quickly. A bond restriction. Yes,
sir.
I understand.
Because because right now we're talking about his liberty, and I'm telling you the concerns that I have. So I can keep the bond at this point, and he can go through that process, or I can accept your representation. I can reduce the bond on the theft by receiving stolen property. He can get the information to you that will show that this car is not stolen, and his case can go away. And hopefully he will then take the steps to have custody rights so that he's not in a situation where he's totally beholden to the person that will call the police and make false allegations about him as to whether he can see his children or not.
Thank you, Your Honor. I understand that. I would just ask that you reduce the bond as much as possible or grant him a signature bond if that's an option.
Okay, I'm going to reduce the bond on the theft by receiving stolen property to $5,000. The bond for the misdemeanor possession of marijuana is set by schedule at $1,500. So I'm going to leave that. And I just need the name of this person so I can put a stay away provision on this bond as it relates to her until this issue is resolved. Do you have her name, Mr. Hernan? Or
actually, I don't have that handy. Mr. Brown, do you have her name?
Liza Alexander, Liza Alexander, last name.
You said Lida?
Liza.
Okay, Liba. Alex.
Z as in zebra.
Okay.
Sorry.
I believe he's saying Liza Alexander.
Okay. Liza Alexander. All right, so I'm going to put a stay away provision on this for Liza Alexander. And this condition can be modified by Miss Alexander. However, Mr. Brown, based upon the representations of your lawyer, I believe you should use this experience to govern yourself with her moving forward in the appropriate manner. Mr. Hernan, do you have any other questions for me?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
I do have one question. I'm sorry, Your Honor. That's a bond that can be paid in cash or through a surety?
Yes, sir. Cash, commercial, or property.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Brown, you're free to go back. Thank you, Mr. Hernan. You're free to go.
Thank
you.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. Okay, let's get started on the ladies' side.
You're facing yourself. Put it up. Mhm.
Are you Miss Adair?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass and 1 count of simple battery. I've set a total bond at $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
You're going to have a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from, it looks like a Pedrice star, Pedrice star. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 1st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Are you Miss Daniel?
Yes, sir.
Miss Daniel, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. I've set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning in courtroom 201, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No.
You're going to hire your own lawyer or you're going to represent yourself?
I probably hire my own.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No, sir. So I'll be able for a bond, but I come back to court on June the 1st.
Okay, you do have a bond. Your bond has been set at $3,000. There's a court date that's been set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you understand that?
Okay. So,
Okay. Are you Miss Garcia?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of battery. I've set the bond at $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 1st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. I've placed a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Dedremia Cummings. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning. Are you Miss Hodges?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with basically 4 driving related offenses, 2 allegations that you did not have children properly restrained in a child seat, 1 allegation of driving a vehicle with no insurance, and 1 allegation of failing to yield while turning the right of way while turning left. You're going to have a total bond set at $2,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May. I'm sorry, I keep saying May. We're into a new month, June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You're going to hire your own lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, if you do not have any questions for me, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Are you Miss Holmes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Miss Holmes, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery. I've set a bond at $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No, sir.
Okay, would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
All right. You do qualify, Ms. Holmes. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. I've placed a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Willie Woods. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I believe that you should be able to get released from this case pretty quickly. While this case is pending, you cannot have contact with Willie Woods unless that is a condition that has been removed by the Solicitor General's office. So if Mr. Woods is not afraid of you, he can contact the Solicitor General's office and then just let him know, hey, I'm not afraid of that person. I just saw the message. Thank you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Now, I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. This is a case that your lawyer, if you're unable to post a bond, your lawyer can most likely get resolved pretty quickly. I would encourage you to contact the varying bonding companies that are authorized to write bonds in this county because that is literally their job and they will work with you. So it may not be able to fit within your circumstances or you may be surprised at the types of things that they will do to assist you. So do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Hey, Rose.
I'm sorry, tell me your last name again, ma'am.
Rose, R-H-O-D-S.
Okay. So, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of aggravated assault and 1 count of aggravated battery. I noticed in your criminal history that you do not have any prior arrests. Okay. So I want you to take a breath for me, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
It's okay, ma'am. It's okay. Now, I have set bond on these offenses, okay? I have placed a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Dominici Lucier. Okay.
Thank you, God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So ma'am, it's obvious from reading the warrant that this all came about from some circumstance. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Please.
Okay. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
And because this is a felony offense, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd.
Okay.
At 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I've set a total bond of $10,000, $5,000 on the aggravated assault, $5,000 on the aggravated battery. The Sheriff's Department is going to give you a list of companies that are authorized to write bails here in this county.
Okay.
I would encourage you to contact each one of those companies, tell them your charges, tell them your bond amount, and they'll tell you the fee that has been charged, that they will charge to assist you in bonding out. I would encourage you to speak to your lawyer about whatever circumstances led to this incident. As I indicated before, I looked at your criminal history and you've never been arrested before. So this is something that you're going to have to make sure that you are truthful and upfront with your lawyers and explain the circumstances that led to your arrest, okay?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
I just want to know, like, so if it's $10,000, that they'll tell me, do I have to pay the full 10 or they give me an amount? I don't really know how it works.
No, that's fine. So the bonding companies charge a fee, which is generally a percentage of the bond.
Okay.
So what you're probably looking at is somewhere around between $1,000 to $1,200 to the bonding company. If you have property, that real estate property that you own in this county that has a value of at least 3 times the bond amount, you will be able to use that property to bond out. But any questions that you have, you should direct it to the sheriff's office personnel, and they will be happy to address your questions, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Are there any other questions you have?
No, God bless you. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. You're free to go back. Is Miss Lavender OTB?
Oh, thank you.
Ms. Lavender?
Oh, God, thank you.
She is. I see it on the chart. She's OTB.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you Miss Sheffield?
Yes, I am.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property being a motor vehicle, use or possession of drug-related objects, and obstructing an officer. I've set a total bond at $13,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Because these are felony charges, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're free to go back, ma'am. Are you Miss Wilson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Miss Wilson, you've been charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, 1 count of use or possession of drug-related objects, and 1 count of hindering the display of a license plate. I'm going to set your total bond at $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Is that it on the lady side?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and just so I can have my paperwork clear, I have Miss Dukes and Miss Pontu as being continued from yesterday's calendar.
Okay. I don't have them on my list.
Okay, I have them on the list that I got from your office as it relates to the magistrate court's first appearance list. Would you just do me a favor? I'll give you their LE numbers.
Okay.
Okay, so for Miss Pontu, Pontoo, her LE number is 205-7953.
Can you repeat that, Your Honor?
Okay, 205-7953. And for Miss Dukes, she was charged with 2 offenses where she could have posted bond. But when I saw them, looked them up this morning, they were both showing as active inmates. So that's why I'm asking.
Okay.
For Miss Dukes, her LE number, it looks like it's 157-5257.
Okay.
So if you would just check those 2 for me, I'll switch over to the men's side And if they're no longer showing as active, then we can be done today for the lady side.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm ready for the men.
Yes, sir.
Are you Mr. Doster? Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of battery and 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. I've set a total bond at $6,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
Okay, there's going to be a stay away provision on the bond, and I apologize if I pronounce this wrong, but it was difficult reading the handwriting. It looks like it was a Jestwere, Jestwere, last name Kite, Keit, to stay away from that person. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Doster. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back.
You tell me how much the bond was again? Hold on, I hear it.
I'm sorry?
You tell me the number was again with the bond?
Oh, $6,500. Okay, you're free to go back, sir. Okay, Mr. Fears? Sir, you've been charged with 1 count of forgery in the 3rd degree. I've set a bond at $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. But that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Hall?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hall, you've been charged with 1 count of battery and 1 count of obstructing an officer. I've set a total bond at $7,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Cheryl Ware, Charriel. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay. Are you currently working, Mr. Hall?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Haskell?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excuse me. Mr. Haskell, you've been charged with cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. I've set a bond at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently working, Mr. Haskell?
Yes, sir.
Approximately how much do you make per hour or per month?
$15 an hour.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Haskell. Mr. Hightower, you've been charged with 1 count of loitering or prowling 1 count of public drunkenness, and 1 count of disorderly conduct. You're going to have a total bond set at $3,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Hightower. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
My question, sir, could that money be paid through this jail? You said 3,000, right?
Yes, sir. So you can pay the entire amount to the jail, and you'll get that amount back. You can go through a bonding company, and the bonding company, you'll pay a fee to them, and they will act as a surety on your bond. Okay, was that your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Hightower.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Good morning. How do you pronounce your last name, sir? Okay. You've been charged with 2 counts of simple battery. And I've set the bond at $3,000 each as it relates to these 2 counts. But I've also placed a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from an Antonia, is it Hemi? And Rosemary. I'm sorry?
You're reading the wrong person. This is the wrong person.
Okay, tell me your name, sir.
My name is Mijares, M-I-J-A.
Okay. Okay, so do we have Mr. I-H-E-M-E and Mr. Cage and Mr. Martin?
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's try to keep them in order. Okay, sir, is it Sammy I-H-E? Okay, tell me how to pronounce that last name. Aim. Okay, Mr. Aim, you've been charged with 2 counts of simple battery. And I've set the bond at $3,000 each. So there's a total bond of $6,000, but there's a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from Antonio Ahim and a Rosemary Nwasu. Do you understand that? Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No.
You're going to hire your own lawyer?
Is it okay if I have a public defender?
Okay, so that will be the appointed lawyer. So you do want me to see if you qualify for an appointed lawyer? Okay. You do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Yeah, is it okay if I should pay the bond right now?
Yes.
Yeah, so I can pay the $6,000 to the jail cell?
Yes, you can pay the total amount to the sheriff's department, and they'll hold that and they'll return it to you when your case is over. Or you can go through a bonding company. You'll pay a fee to that bonding company. That fee will not be returned, and they will act as a surety on your bond. Or if you have real estate in this county that's worth at least $18,000, you can use that. Okay. So those are the 3 options you have available to you. Okay. Any other questions, sir?
No?
Okay. You're free to go back.
That was the name. Keep your mask on, sir. Tell me your name. Keep your mask on. Darius Cage.
Mr. Cage, you're charged with 1 count of terroristic threat and 1 count of simple assault. I've placed a total bond of $7,000 on this. The terroristic threats are acts as a felony. So you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd. at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Debbie Carter and LaKenya Daniels. Do you understand that?
For life, I do that. Y'all gonna do anyway.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I'll be my own lawyer, and I'm taking it off. Judge, I just want to know what is when you reverse countersue. I'm ready to countersue. How do I countersue somebody?
Okay, so in the criminal context, you can't countersue. There's an investigation supposed to be, and there's a determination as to who's a victim and who's not. There have been situations where a case, someone has been arrested and the police will come back later and they have warrants for false statements for the person that had someone arrested. So you should speak to your lawyer about what are the best steps to take for your particular case, okay?
I'm gonna speak to me about it, and the only thing I'm gonna ask me is, what is my last? I was in Clayton County, and I was not told my case. So I just want to know what's my last case and this case. But you just told me this case, and it's a felony and a misdemeanor. So what's my last one?
I don't understand what you're.
Hey, man. Honest.
So you have two charges. One is a felony and one is a misdemeanor. You're saying that you have another case pending?
I'm on bail right now. That's why I need to talk to my OLC key officer so she can tell y'all that I really do need to make bail so I can be my own lawyer. I can't be my own lawyer in here because I will be stuck in here. Until I'll be stuck in here until my next court date.
You can have your back, sir.
So, Mr. Cage, as an American citizen, you have the right to represent yourself, to hire your own lawyer, or to seek the appointment of a lawyer if you qualify. You have told me that I think you said you're going to act as your own lawyer. So that then places upon you the burden of navigating yourself through the system. You're asking me things that you would ask a lawyer. Okay, so do you want me to appoint a lawyer for you, or do you want to continue to navigate yourself through this system on your own? Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
All right, you want to continue on that?
Good morning, Mr. Martin. You're charged with 1 count of battery and 1 count of theft by taking. I've placed a total bond on this case at $7,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? There's also going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Capri Jackson Rogers. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I have a lawyer.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Martin? Okay, you're free to go back. Okay, now it's Mr. Majaris. Okay, you've been charged with driving under the influence, failure to yield, having an open container in your vehicle, and 2 drug-related offenses, having pills outside of their original container, and violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act as it relates to its listing as Schedule 2 drug.
Okay.
I've placed the total bond on your case at $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date.
Sir, can I make a statement?
Give me 1 second, and I will let you say whatever you want to say. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I do not need a lawyer. I will represent myself.
Okay. Now, what is your statement?
My statement, there's no evidence at all that I was under the influence. There's absolutely no evidence. The urine analysis will prove that I was sober. And the trajectory of that vehicle will show that she hit me after she jumped the curb. She hit my car. That's what's going to show. And then the speed of her vehicle from the point at the top of the McDonald's to the Best Western, the speed is also going to show that she's at fault. So I will win this case, and then I will sue her, her family, and all her descendants for every single thing that they've earned. And that's what's going to happen. And I will win that case. Thank you.
Okay, good luck to you, sir. You're free to go back.
How you doing?
Hi, are you Mr. Is it Navy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of loitering or prowling, 2 drug-related offenses, 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, 1 count of carrying a weapon concealed without having a license, and 1 count of contributing to delinquency or deprivation of a minor. Your total bond is going to be set at $24,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, did you say yes?
May I ask the percentage of that?
I'm sorry, you're asking for what?
Oh no, I'm asking you know the percentage of that bond.
So it's going to be somewhere about $2,400 to $2,600
Okay.
using a bonding company. And I have to add, I don't work for the bonding company. So there's a list of approved bonding companies that the Sheriff's Department maintains, and they will give you that list with the phone numbers, and you can contact each one of them. Some of them will put you on payment plans. They will work with you. They will do varying things because that is literally their way of making money, is getting people out of jail, not people staying in jail. Okay?
I just got one thing to say.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'll let you say whatever you need to say at the end. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you will receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you currently working? Okay, sir, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now, what is it that you wanted to tell me?
I just wanted to let you know that I'm still working on graduating, and I plan on doing that. So we appreciate you. Thank you, for decision.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir. Good morning. Are you Mr. Sanchez? Sir, you've been charged with 1 count of fleeing and attempting to elude, and that's been charged as a felony, reckless driving, theft by receiving stolen property, possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, use or possession of drug-related objects, and a window tint violation. You're going to have a total bond set at $15,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Sanchez. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Okay,
Do you have any questions for me? Okay, you're free to go back, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Saunders. Sir, you're charged with 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol, 1 count of open container violation and 1 count of improper lane change. You're going to have a total bond set at $6,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
Okay, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Saunders. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir? Okay, you're free to go back. Okay, Mr. Scott, you have been charged with 1 count of driving on a suspended license, 1 count of an open container violation, 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime. You're going to have a total bond set at $8,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? Did you say yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? You said no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
You said the bond, how much?
$8,500.
Thank you,
You're welcome. You're free to go back, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Antonio Scherer.
Okay, Mr. Scherer, you've been charged, looks like with a number of driving related offenses and some drug related offenses. Following 2 closed improper lane change and open container, the bond is going to be set at $500 apiece for those. Possession of marijuana less than an ounce, the bond is going to be set at $1,500 for that. There are 2 counts of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. I'm setting the bond at $5,000 apiece for those. 1 count of use or possession of drug-related objects, the bond is going to be set at $1,500. And possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, bond is going to be set at $5,000. So that's going to be a total bond of $19,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
It's like $2,000 up front, like that.
Somewhere around that amount, yes, sir.
I got like 600 on me in here. I got family coming up here today with about 400. If I can get a bond in California, I should be able to get them 1,000 today, and in about 2 weeks they're gonna get my check, which will be 1,200.
Okay.
I do work regularly. I'm a single father of 2 teenagers. I really need to get back home as soon as possible.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. All right, you're free to go back. I'm ready to switch back to the ladies' side if you have those 2 ladies, if you guys are ready for them.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ms. Pond.
Okay, how do you pronounce your last name, ma'am? Okay, Ms. Pontu, you've been charged with 1 count of terroristic threats. I'm going to set your bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That court date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
My mom hired me one already.
Okay. Give me 1 second, ma'am, before I let you go.
Okay.
I'm going to put a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from Joseph Chisholm. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No,
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
thank you.
You're welcome.
What you saying? I call my mom. Hold on. I don't know if she brought one.
No, I'm saying, trying to relax.
Yeah, I got one. You got it.
It's paper.
That's the next one.
Take this back from me. Put it on.
Okay, get in front of the camera then.
Talk to the computer?
Yeah.
Turn right?
Yep.
Oh, it's my life. Right, so
Pull it back up on your face.
Put it
Boo.
on.
I got it the wrong way.
No, you
If
don't.
somebody just keep leaving it on, put it on, put it on.
It's my self.
You say good, let me just clean.
You eat so?
Your Honor, this is Ms. Dukes.
Okay, Ms. Dukes, you've been charged with 1 count of public indecency and 1 count of disorderly conduct. Do you believe you can post this bond of $3,500, ma'am?
No, sorry.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer, ma'am?
No, sorry.
Are you planning on representing yourself?
Yes, sorry. Can I speak now?
I'm sorry?
Can I speak now about the incident?
Ma'am, this is going to be posted on the internet, so I don't know if you want to do that. Let me ask you this question. Ma'am. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm going to let you ask that question. Have you ever been under the care of a doctor for like taking any medications?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what medications have you been prescribed?
A lot of medications. It's some things I didn't want to do. So all the stuff they're forcing me to do, I didn't choose to do any of this.
Okay. Ma'am, would you let me appoint a lawyer to represent you to help you out, just to assist you?
No lawyer. I know to walk away from myself. I was just trying to use the restroom outside.
I understand that, ma'am. My concern is that if you cannot post a bond and you don't have a lawyer representing you, that there's a possibility of your falling through the cracks and you're just sitting in jail because nobody is advocating on your behalf. I can't appoint a lawyer to represent you, and if you don't like the lawyer, you can fire the lawyer.
Yeah, I don't need a lawyer. I can speak for myself. My name's Janice Dominic Dukes. I was outside, even though I'm here in this building by force. Yeah, I asked, can I stay here before? You told me no. I never want to come here. I never want those people to hurt me, and I never want to hurt anybody else. Y'all force your life against mine. I didn't force my life against yours. I said words about things and about life. I said that. See, that got a flag right there. Yes, I have been to school before. Yes, I have been to different places, different buildings, around different people, in different cars, indoors and outdoors. But intentionally, nothing was really meant to hurt anyone. I wasn't really meant to hurt anyone, and no one was really meant to hurt me. So I don't know how all this stuff come about.
Okay, so Ms. Dukes, if I do nothing right now, the next time that you will appear before a judge will be June 1st. And you're charged with public indecency and disorderly conduct.
Yeah, I already been, excuse me, I already been to jail for public indecency. The police officer knew I didn't have anywhere to go and I was homeless and I really have to urinate, just like I have to urinate now. Everybody around my neighborhood kicked me out, told me to stay away. And they had poison in the bathrooms and the bathrooms weren't clean. So I was outside trying to use the bathroom, waiting on my food.
Okay, so Ms. Dukes, you have the absolute.
Just dismiss the case and let me be free. Let me go back home, go to a shelter somewhere. I got stuff I gotta do. I got a life of my own to take care of. other than being inside this building. I don't know what I'm wrong, so whatever you're trying to force me to do, go ahead. I'm listening.
So, Ms. Dukes, I can't dismiss this case without the other side being present. And that won't happen until June 1st if you're going to represent yourself. I'm going to ask you one last time to allow me to appoint a lawyer to represent you. It's your choice to say no.
Well, if it's in April, June, or whatever. What is your name?
My name is Judge Gardner.
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too, ma'am. So I'm going to allow you to go back, ma'am, but I am going to send a notification over to both the solicitor's office and to the office that represents people who are charged with these low-level offenses, because I believe that there's a danger that you could sit in jail unnecessarily, and I want to assist you in getting out as quickly as possible, okay?
So how quickly as possible will I be getting out of here?
Well, ma'am, I can't tell you that. Right now, based upon the decisions that you've made, the earliest you could get out will be June 1st.
But what about with the lawyer and other things?
If you allow me to appoint a lawyer, the lawyer can speak to the prosecutor, and I'm almost certain that they will seek a way for you to get out. And that'll be probably within a week.
Well, I guess I just have to accept what you're saying, but really what I'm saying not really working, so.
Well, you have that right, ma'am, to do whatever you choose, but I will appoint a lawyer to try to help you get out as quickly as possible, okay? Okay, ma'am, thank you. You're free to go back. Thank you for your assistance. You guys have a good day.
You too, Your Honor.
All right, we're ready to go back to the mill side.
Your Honor, this is the one that said he may need to translate, but he said he's gonna try to see if he can understand you right now.
Okay.
His sister, he just spoke with his sister, he said.
Okay, sir. You are Mr. Is it Talk?
Yeah, my last name.
Okay. So, sir, you have a right to have an interpreter present so that you can hear and understand everything that's going on. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand.
Because you want to go forward, I'm going to try to go forward. But if I believe that you're not understanding, I will have to reset your case to tomorrow, unfortunately, so that we can have an interpreter available. So if you do not understand something, please let me know, okay?
I understand they will be bonding me out today.
Okay, your sister is going to be here to bond you out? Okay. You're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass and 1 count of terroristic threats. The criminal trespass is based upon the allegation that you broke your sister's glass bowl. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. And these are mere allegations, not saying that you're guilty of anything, okay? The second charge, based upon the terroristic threat, that's the allegation that you poured out gasoline on the ground and they believe it was meant to threaten someone, okay? Do you understand that?
I understand. I understand.
You're going to have a court date set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. But if you bond out, which sounds like you're going to be able to bond out, you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Would you like for me to appoint a lawyer to represent you?
Yep.
Okay, so you can fire the lawyer at any time that you desire, but I'm gonna place on here that there could be a potential language issue so that the lawyers would know to try to have someone interpret for you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions for me?
I got one question. How much for bonding out? I want to know.
Okay, so your current total bond is gonna be $6,000, and it'll be a little bit higher because the sheriff's department has to add fees to every bond. So I cannot tell you the exact number, but it'll probably be between $600 and $750
Yes.
to a bonding company.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But I got very sick. What I got medication from where June.
Okay. So you're taking medication every day? What medications are you taking?
I take the methadone.
Okay. And when is the last time you had the methadone?
The last few days.
Okay. So you're going to be able to get out today. Okay. I do not believe the sheriff's department can provide methadone to you if you're still there. I do not know that for certain. So I guess we need to try to get you out as quickly as possible. I will finish this paperwork probably within the next couple of hours, and I'll send it over. So you will be able to get out today, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, you're free to go back, sir. Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Thurman? Okay, give me 1 second, Mr. Thurman. Okay, Mr. Thurman, you've been charged with 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol, 1 count of having an open container in the vehicle, and 1 count of driving on a suspended or revoked license. You're going to have a total bond set at $7,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, I try.
Okay, your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, please.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Thurman. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir? Okay, you're free to go back.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Actually, we just crossed over. It's 12:20. Good afternoon, Mr. Washington.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Washington, you're charged with 1 count of simple battery and 1 count of simple assault. I've set a total bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from a Natoya Washington.
That's my daughter.
Okay.
Are you aware that I'm not from here? I'm from California.
From Fresno.
Yes, sir.
So were you here visiting?
I was here for my daughter's wedding Saturday in Miami, Florida. And
Okay.
my plane that is bought and paid for is on Wednesday at 9:20 to go back to California.
Okay, so we need to get you out of jail. So you can post this bond today and be out today, okay? You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st, but that date will get waived and you'll get a new court date in the mail upon bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Will I have to come back here?
That is a decision that I don't make. It's called a plea in absentia. That's something that happens when a person lives out of state. But those decisions are made between the trial judge, the prosecutor, and the defense lawyer.
Okay.
So it's a possibility, but I'm not the person that will make that determination.
Right, yes.
Okay. So do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer, or do you want to hire your own lawyer?
Qualify for a lawyer.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Washington. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. And you should speak to the lawyer when you get a chance to speak to the lawyer. Speak to the lawyer about, you know, your daughter's alleged victim. I don't know if she's going to drop the charges or whatever, but if it comes to the point of there being a plea in the case, you definitely want to discuss that with the lawyer, to plea in absentia.
I have a question, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
This, my daughter is the one who called me on this argument that we had. I have money in my account, and there's no one else that lives here but her. So how am I to bail myself out with the money that I have?
Well, she will not be allowed to bail you out. If it's your desire to post the entire amount of the bond to the sheriff's department and have that money returned to you, you're going to have to speak to them about their procedures as it relates to that aspect of it. There are bonding companies here, and because you're out of state, it may be a little bit tricky, but there are bonding companies that will work with you.
Are you saying that I would have to pay the whole amount?
No, sir. When you're paying a percentage, you don't pay that to the sheriff's department. You pay that to a bonding company. Okay. All right. Any other questions, sir?
No, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. You're free to go back, Mr. Washington.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Woodson.
How you doing, sir? Mr. Woodson here.
I'm doing well, Mr. Woodson. You're charged with 1 count of battery, 1 count of criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree. The criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree is being listed as a felony because they're alleging the property damage was more than $500. So you're going to have a total bond set at $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
$8,000?
Yes, sir.
Sir, is there any way I could get the bail reduced due to the fact that my family had to like travel a far distance to come here and pay my bail? And the only person I have here is the alleged victim, I believe. So if we could get it like reduced to like even like 100 or 2 shorter, I could get out of here and I could work. I do have some jobs and stuff available for me. I'm not sure if you know that I just currently moved down here Monday to Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm starting a whole new life over. And I got subcontract businesses that's willing to work with me. You know, I was supposed to work today, but that's neither here nor there. I don't know much about that. But yeah, I'm just asking, can I get that bail reduced a little smaller? That's all.
Well, 5,000 is generally the lowest I'll set for battery. The criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree is being listed as a felony because of the allegation as to the amount of damage. So I wouldn't feel comfortable reducing the bond. I'm giving your criminal history a second look.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're coming from Pennsylvania?
Yes, sir. Like I honestly, sir, this whole like the house is our house. The property and everything is ours. The cars is ours. Like I'm not just like moving into a girl house and taking control over it. I know this girl for 10 years. Like we better than this, and it's our first altercation that blew up like this big.
So, Mr. Woodson, because of the prior assault-related arrests in Pennsylvania, I'm not inclined to reduce this bond amount. The allegations in here are things that are totally within your control. I mean, the allegations of what you are supposed to have done, These are things that are within your control. So if you're allegedly throwing things in the house, breaking stuff, that kind of thing, that's not the way that an adult should handle himself. So I'm going to leave it set at the way that it is. And there's a stay away provision on the bond that you need to be aware of, the stay away from Amanda Eisner. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Did you say yes?
You said yes?
Well, I didn't hear your response. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Woodson. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. As indicated before, there is a felony offense on here, so you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you will get a new court date. But just to put a finer point on it, you gotta start acting in a different manner, Mr. Woodson, because this stuff does catch up to you. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, Your Honor. Mario Wins.
Okay, Mr. Wins, how are you? You have one count of driving a vehicle without a valid license. The bond is set by schedule, which means it's automatically set at $1,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
$1,000?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, I represent myself, but one question,
Yes, sir.
is there a way that would, because I was going to I told the officer that I'm getting my license at the end of this week. Is there a way that you can show up at court with your Georgia license and they're willing to work with you?
The short answer to your question is yes, but that's a decision that's made by the prosecutor. That's not a decision that's made by me. And the judge that'll ultimately be the person that's dealing with the guilt or innocence phase of your case. So, but please get that license, because as long as you don't have it, you're going to get pulled over and arrested.
But can you just go ahead and see if I'm approved for a lawyer? Because you say you can do that to talk to the prosecutor, I need him for that process.
Okay, well, when I asked you that question, you said you're going to represent yourself. So do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Wins. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions for me? Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
That's all I have, Your Honor. I have that one that I sent you that bonded out. The OTB.
Yes, Mr. Ceramopoulos.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, let me ask you this question, because I also had two mails that were continued from yesterday. And they both had bonds that were preset. So I'll give you their LE numbers. One is, looks like Barreras, Barreras. His LE number is 2184018.
2184018. You can repeat.
Oh, I've been talking too long. My brain doesn't move that fast. 2184018.
All right.
Okay. And the second one, last name is Dehoyos. But I think I was told that person was OTB, because that was the one we thought we needed the interpreter for. But the LE number is 2064524.
2064504.
Yes, sir.
4504. Okay, if you give me let me see, I'm at the log in here on the screen. If you hold 1 second, I'll be able to check for you.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the control booth, Your Honor. It's not letting me access it here on this computer. So give me about 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll stand by.
Hey, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I have Bareilles here. Jenkins bonded out though.
Okay, you said Jenkins?
Yes, the second one you gave me. Keep your mask on. Keep your mask on.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, we'll come back to that last person. I may have given you the wrong number because the name that I have is Dehoyos.
Okay, give me the LE number one more time. Maybe I wrote it down wrong.
Okay, 206-4524.
Okay, I wrote that wrong. 4524.
Okay, Mr. Barreras, sir, this is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. Were you able to go before a judge yesterday?
Sorry, sir, I don't speak English good. I
Did you
understand.
see the judge yesterday? You seen the judge yesterday? The judge.
Yes, but they told me I need a translate.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, sir, you're charged with 2 offenses. Distracted driving, meaning having like a cell phone in your hand, and driving a vehicle without a license. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, it's true.
So the bonds for these are automatically set, and the total bond is going to be set at $1,500. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, but I'm here in the United States for vacation, 4 days in the United States. I don't have family here, I don't have friends. I have one friend in Florida, but I wanna pay. I have for pay, but I need exit for pay. This is my problem. I don't have numbers for call one person pay for me. I need go to the Florida bank, Pichincha Bank truckers, I pay, no problem. But
Okay. There's a service called 411. You call that number and you tell them, or you ask for the phone number of the person that you're trying to contact. and they will help connect you with that person.
Yeah, but I don't have the number. I have it in my phone. In my phone, no, it's here.
411.
Okay.
You can call 411, okay? Because what I hear you're asking is you want the sheriff's department to give you your phone, correct?
Yeah.
And they may not be able to do that based upon their policies.
Okay.
So you dial 411 and ask to speak to my friend John Smith or Jane Smith. The number, this is where they live.
Okay.
And they will contact you. Connect you, sorry.
Yeah, I understand. Yes.
You can also go through a bonding company here. The sheriff's department will give you a list of numbers that you can call, and they will charge you a fee to assist you in getting out, but they will assist you in getting out. Okay?
Yes, I understand, sir.
So you're going to have a hearing date that's going to be set today for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date is going to go away and you'll get a new court date after you leave. Yes.
If you bond out.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to appoint a lawyer to represent you? To give you a lawyer?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, I will do that. Do you have any questions of me?
Sir, I have a problems. I need to call my family because they know where are you now, where I am now. I think they in my country call the police here in the United States. I don't know what happened. This is my really problem.
So the car that you were driving, is that car rental or is it owned?
No, it's a car de my contact in Florida. Yeah, friend in Florida.
Okay. Did your contact from Florida know that you were coming to Georgia?
Here me in Georgia, yes, but he now in Florida. I think, yes. Because the police told go to Florida, no problem after call for the friend, but I don't know what happened.
So once you are arrested and your car is towed, that vehicle is entered into a database. So if that person is trying to find his car, he will find you. He will know that that car was taken or impounded by the Clayton County Police Department.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
So that's how people find people all the time. The first thing you do is you contact the police and say, hey, Ricardo Barrero is driving my car and he's missing. We can't reach him.
Understand, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions?
No, sir. No.
Oh, okay. All right. You're going to be free to go back and they will allow you to use the phone after this hearing. Okay. All right. You're free to go back, sir.
You can go.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Is that all you have, Your Honor?
Well, we're waiting on the other person. There was a one, the Hoyos.
Last person you gave me?
Yeah.
They said he bonded out.
Great. Okay. Well, that's all that I have. I'm going to get back to get on the paperwork. Thank you for your